sprinkles, Santa Claus's special elf. Because everything is special with sprinkles. Santa Claus knows you're special too, and he has something to say to you. So listen close as Santa Claus shares holiday cheer with you. You can leave a special message for Santa Claus and get on the nice list at www.santaclaussays.net. Now here is the big man himself, Santa Claus!
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas! Happy holidays and joy to you and yours. How about that, Sprinkles? Isn't she wonderful? She is special. She's my special elf. She helps me here around the workshop with all the other elves as we get ready for Christmas. And you know what? Just like Sprinkles said, you're special too. And here on Santa Claus Says, we want you to know that it is a good thing to be good. That's why Santa Claus says, be good for goodness sakes. Here at Santa Claus Says, we're all about sharing a good word and listening. So I like to listen to what you have to say. So you can always go to santaclaussays.net and tell me what's on your mind. You can leave me a voicemail or a message on the little button there that says Talk to Santa. Or you can get on the nice list. If you get on the nice list, we're going to have communication together as well. And when you get on the nice list, I've got a gift for you, which is a checklist for mom and dad particularly. It's a free photo checklist about how to have a great photo with Santa Claus this Christmas time. I hope that you'll do that. Here on Santa Claus Says, we love to tell stories, and we love to tell jokes, and we love to have letters and things like that. When you hear the sleigh bells ring like this, when you hear the sleigh bells ring, that's when we go on to do something else, like tell a story. And that's what I want to do right now. Tell the story called The Velveteen Rabbit. This is our fourth episode of Santa Claus Says. And we've been telling the story about the Velveteen Rabbit. If you'd like to hear the first three parts of this story, you can go to episodes 1 and 2 and 3 of Santa Claus Says. Or remember, next time when we get together, we'll conclude the story with part 5. But today is part 4 of the Velveteen Rabbit. You remember the rabbit was a rabbit that was a toy for the little boy that he got at Christmas time. And the Velveteen Rabbit wanted so badly to be real. And summer has come, and the Velveteen Rabbit has encountered real rabbits out in the field. And that has caused some commotion. We pick up the story this way. Weeks and weeks went by, and the little rabbit grew old and shabby. But the boy loved him just as much. He loved him so hard that his whiskers fell out, and the pink lining of his ears turned gray, and the brown spots faded. He even began to lose his shape, and he scarcely even looked like a rabbit anymore, except the boy. To him, he was always beautiful. And that was all that the rabbit really cared about, was the boy thinking that he was beautiful and that the rabbit was cared for by him. He didn't mind how he looked to the other people because the nursery magic had made him real. And when you're real, shabbiness doesn't matter. One day the boy was sick and his face grew flushed, and he talked in his sleep, and the little boy was hot and burned the rabbit. He held him so close. Strange people came and went to the nursery, and a light burned all night. And through it all, the little Velveteen Rabbit lay there, hidden from sight in the bedclothes. And he never stirred, for he was afraid that they had found that someone might take him away. And he knew that the boy needed him. It was a long, weary time, for the boy was too ill to play. So the rabbit snuggled down patiently and looked forward to the time when the boy would be well again, and they would go out into the garden and play games in the raspberry thicket like they used to. And finally, the boy got better. He was able to sit up in bed and look at picture books, and the little rabbit cuddled with close to him. And one day, they let him get dressed, and it was a bright and sunny morning, and the window stood open, and they carried the boy out to the balcony and wrapped him in a shawl, and the little rabbit lay tangled up among the bedclothes, thinking, the boy is going to the seaside tomorrow. Everything was arranged, and now it only remained to carry out the doctor's orders. The room was to be disinfected, and all the books and toys the boy had played with in the bed must be burnt. Hooray, thought the little rabbit. Tomorrow we shall go to the seaside, for the boy had often talked about going to the seaside, and he wanted very much to see the big waves coming in and the tiny crabs and the sandcastles. Just then, Nana caught sight of him. How about this old bunny? She asked. That, said the doctor. Why, it's a mess of scarlet fever germs. Burn it at once. Get him a new one. And so the little rabbit was put into a sack with all the old picture books and carried off to the end of the garden behind the shed. That was a fine place to make a bonfire, only the gardener was too busy. He had potatoes to dig and green peas to gather. But the next morning he promised to come early and burn the whole lot. And that night the boy slept in a different bedroom. And he had a new bunny to sleep with him. It was a splendid bunny, all white plush and real glass eyes. But the boy was too excited to care about it too much. For tomorrow he was going to the seaside. And that was such a wonderful thing that he could think of nothing else. And while the boy was asleep, the little rabbit lay among the old picture books in the corner behind the shed, and he felt very lonely. The sack had been left untied, and so by wriggling a bit, he was able to get his head through the opening and look out, and he was shivering a little, for he'd always been used to sleeping in a proper bed. And by this time, his coat had worn so thin and threadbare from hugging that it no longer had any protection for him. Nearby, he could see the thicket of raspberry canes growing tall and close like a tropical jungle, in whose shadow he had been happy to play with the boy. And he thought about the long sunlit hours in the garden, how happy they were, and a great sadness came over him. He remembered when the little ants ran over his paws, the wonderful day when he first knew that he was real. He thought of the stuffed horse, so wise, and all that he had told him. And a tear, a real tear, trickled down his shabby velvet nose and fell to the ground. We'll leave the story right there for the time being. We'll finish the story when we get together on episode number 5 of The Velveteen Rabbit here on episode 5, or on episode 5 when we come back next time. Hey, it's time for a joke. It's time for a Santa's joke. Here is the joke for today. What is Santa's favorite type of potato chip? Crisp Pringles. Oh, silly jokes. Well, we like to have fun together. Then we like to tell stories, and we like to read letters and hear voicemails. And we like to do all that. And so we want you to know that you can always send Santa a voicemail or a message or get on his list by going to SantaClausSays.net. Leave me a voice message, leave me a text message at the button that says Talk to Santa. Or there's another button there that says Nice List. Get on the nice list, and for our moms and dads particularly, you can get a free photo with Santa checklist that you're going to find helpful. But I do like to hear your letters. Here, I got a letter here, and it says this. I thought this was a good one. Dear Santa, I've been good this year. Mostly. Sometimes. Once. Never mind. I'll buy my own stuff. Thank you. Merry Christmas. I love that one. Very honest. That's a good thing, to be honest. And I know that you have been good boys and good girls and that you want to be on my nice list. It's a good thing. Remember what Santa Claus says. Santa Claus says to always be good and to do good for goodness sakes. We'll see you next time here on Santa Claus Says. I gotta go find Sprinkles now. She's special, but she is silly and she likes to hide a lot. And guess what? We got a lot of work to do because Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming. You better get ready. It's so important for you to be good, to your moms and dads and everybody else and people at school. Be good for goodness sakes. And remember, Santa Claus says, be good.
You're special to Santa Claus, just like Sprinkles. Get on Santa's nice list at SantaClausSays.net and watch Santa Claus Says live on YouTube. Tell him Sprinkles sent you.